Many times. Not so much that they hit me. I had a position and I didn't get out, and I was waiting until the last minute. And back then, used to be, again, Ray Kahneman was trading in the same pit in treasuries, and he had access to the cash market. And most of us didn't have access to the cash market. I'm talking about the early 80s. All of us had to go to Ray and basically, after the trading, after the bell, just get out with him. And he was happy to let you out, but he used to screw you completely. And many times I would go and look at the screen where the cash market is, and I see the price I'm supposed to get. Let's say if I wanted to sell, the price is much higher, and he makes me mark it way below. And he knew that I have no choice. So I did it a few times, and took my loss by dealing with him. He was the only one, so he couldn't go with somebody else. Until one day I decided I would not do it. If I have a position in the end of the day, I would go home with the position. And sure enough, I went home with the position, and of course it went against me in the next day. But I insisted no more giving up. So eventually, if I would have a position, which I didn't happen too often, I would just carry it myself. I could afford to carry it overnight. It's a relationship. It's an important relationship. You have to be fair, and you have to, every so often, they used to make mistakes, and you had to help them out. Helping out means if he sold you by mistake and then he was supposed to buy it, you try to help him out, and then somehow he finds a way to return the favor. You had to be, fair with the brokers and help them out when they needed help. Sometimes they're oversold, so he comes to you and say, listen, you can cut it, instead of 120, make it 60 or 70 or whatever he miscalculated. So the relationship with the brokers was really very, very important. But it was kind of a fair relationship, at least what I had. If you're honest with them and you help them out, life would be a little easier. I really didn't have any issues with the other locals. We always, we compete, but there was no issues. I mean, it's really the broker decided, at the end of the day, how he will split it. It used to be that if you're the first one to make the market, you can choose how much you want to buy or sell. You got the first choice. So if I was the first one, obviously I will, get. If not, the broker decided how much he split. So it was not really. There used to be maybe here and there some arguments with others, saying that he was first, or why he was, supposed to get more. But overall, I think we got along very, very well, all of us there. It was a broker. In fact, I was involved in it. It was a broker that we used to. He used to have his girlfriend there also. She was helping him, and he didn't put all the orders in the open outcry. A lot of the orders he would hold on to them and just cross with her. She was also had a license to be broker, and it was okay. I mean, we couldn't help it. We saw it. All the traders, all of us saw it. But he was a big broker in the back months, so nobody wanted to fight, and he had a temper. He was really gets upset. But what he did to me, I mean, I knew that he's doing a lot of wrong things, but nobody wanted to go and some people complained, but as soon as he found out that somebody complained, he will really not trade with this person and make it miserable. But this guy, one time he had orders, and what happened, he had standing order, and he had, let's say, to buy 100 at 5. And the market really went down. The market was already trading at 2, so he sold it to the order at 5. But then one time what happened, the market went down to, let's say, from 5, he was supposed to buy at 5, and went down to 2, and then something happened and went back to 8 before he had a chance to cover. And he had to fill the order, because it traded below the order. So he started screaming at us and yelling that we screwed him and we didn't do it, and we went through him and so on. And I said, I cannot take it anymore. It's blaming us that you couldn't steal. It's already too much. So I went to we used to have in the Board of Trade office, investigation office. I went there and I said, look, this would happen, and I had all the details and the trades and everything and the order and everything. And I went there and they said, okay, they will deal with it. A month later, nothing happened. So I went back again, and they said, yes, they will deal with it. And basically, the exchange tried to sweep it under and not make a big fuss over it. So I said to the office and investigation, listen, if I will see that you're not doing anything within another month, I will go to the CFTC with it. And then they said, no, they will deal with it. And of course, they didn't do anything. So I went to the CFTC. Back then, it just started, the CFTC, and they had an office in the Sears Tower. There were a few young lawyers that started the office, and nobody came to them. And suddenly I'm a member in the Board of Trade, and I come to them and I said, listen, I got a complaint to do. I spoke to the exchange, and the exchange didn't do anything about it. And boy, I just told the guy, one of them, and then he called everyone, and they were so excited that he's a member from the Board of Trade comes and talked to them. And of course, they needed all the information, and so I told them everything, and then they needed more. They went to the exchange and asked for the details and the trades and checking what happened there. And then the exchange, the Office of Investigation approaches me and says, why did you go to the CFTC? We will take care of it. I said, I gave you a chance. You didn't do it. So I had to go to the CFTC. Eventually, the Board of Trade was forced to act, and eventually they found the broker and they suspended him for 5 years. And there were a lot of other people, but nobody wanted to complain because he used to do. And turned out that his father was a lawyer also, and I didn't know that. And his father used to be in touch with the Office of Investigation, and he used to be knowing that he knew them and everything, and he knew this way. The broker knew about every complaint that against him. He knew who complained, because he had this information from his father. In my case, he knew it's me, and I didn't deny it, and I told him. But then he stopped trading with me. So it was really interesting because he would not trade with me. So many times, he would just ignore me. Many times I'll make a market and he will sell to the others, and many times the others will give me part of it, but he would not deal with me. But it was just a time before I left the Board of Trade. I went back to Israel. And in fact, many times I would do to him what happened if he sold 100 lots in order at 5, I'll go 6 bid for 1. And then it looks, the 6 print on the screen, and it doesn't look good for him. That the customer right away sees that they traded 6 after he sold 100 at 5. So played this game anyhow. So I left to Israel, and then when I was in Israel, they got in touch with me, the Board of Trade, the Office of Investigation, that I have to come in for a hearing, otherwise they would not be able to do anything to him. So I came from Israel especially to testify against him, and eventually, he got a 5-year suspension. And back then the rules were if you are 5 years is suspended, then you have to reapply as a member, and then it's a good chance they will not accept you as a member. But he did it after 5 years. Obviously, he had the connection, and he came back to the market after 5 years. So I was involved in some illegal things that he did. And then, of course, when I came back to visit, everyone said, well done, and nobody wanted to stand up to him. But everyone knew what he's doing. Right. So people were so happy that he got what he deserved to get. The most important that I learned from the floor, that in order to be successful in life, you don't have to do it perfect, or you don't have to be right all the time. Like a trader, if you're right most of the time, you'll be a very successful trader. So it means nothing is 100% in life. So to me, if things are not perfect or something like this, it's okay. still you can be a very successful person and be good even though you don't know everything or you are not doing everything 100% right. So the 100% in trading doesn't exist. So, and if you apply the same principle to life, it's 100% doesn't exist in life either. It cannot be everything perfect or everything terrible. It's always, but if you'll do, most of the time you'll do good, you'll be very successful in life and the same like in trading. Before I was a board member in Life and the London Exchange. I was there like 8.5 years a board member, and I was in the time that we moved from open outcry to electronic trading, and that was quite amazing period because we had to make decisions and so on. With the CME it was something different. Part of the reason I wanted to be in the CME was because this industry really, I love this industry. This industry changed my life completely. I owe everything to the industry, and I would really like to see this industry growing. Even today, I'm still would love to see this industry growing, and giving the same opportunity that I got 44 years ago to give it to young people, because it's a very unique opportunity that you depend only on your own abilities and no connection and relationship and nothing. When it comes to pure trading, it's really your own. If you have it, you can really accumulate quite a lot of capital, and you can accumulate the wealth and be very successful and do other things. When I came to the CME, before I noticed, I had experience I traded in London, I traded in Singapore, and I had experience from different exchanges. And to me, the CME was only Chicago, and they didn't have much experience. I was the only one that really spent time outside Chicago, and I was the only one that dealt with a lot of other exchanges, not just the CME. And you learn from different things and experience. So I thought I can contribute to the CME. My experience from global markets, from international markets and different cultures and so on can be quite helpful to CME. Interesting. For example, we debated back then if members should be getting a better commission than customers after we go electronic. And Life was the exchange that decided that everyone would be customers and members electronically will pay the same fees, which by the way in Chicago was different. And that was I think a very good decision, because it opened up and basically for the exchange was much better this way. Also in London we went to electronic trading not out of choice. I don't know if you heard, but in 1997 or 98 we lost the Boons contract to Eurex.
I think I've heard that, yes.
So that's got the board really worried that we might lose, the business to Eurex, because in Life used to trade the Boons and the Euromark, which is German interest rates, and it's a good chance that if we will not move to electronic trading, we'll lose the business to Eurex. So we got quite panicky because that was the most important contracts in Life. And so we decided to move to electronic trading. So it was not like a vision or things like this. It was just you had no choice, you had to do it. And then we tried to also, which we made a mistake, we tried in Life to take, we moved to electronic trading, and then we tried to take the Eurodollar. I don't know if you know, Eurodollar traded in CME, Singapore, and Life. And we thought that the CME still open outcry. We got a chance to try to take the Eurodollar, most of the liquidity, to London. And what we did is the opposite. We forced the CME to act, and they very quickly moved everything to electronic trading, and we couldn't do anything. So we kind of pushed the CME to move to electronic trading. I think so. I'm the one that really took the trading to the emerging markets. I was the first one in China, I was the first one in India, I was the first in Israel. For example, when I went to India, I went there because of talent. People thought that I'm going there because of it's cheap, but if you got, even people without paying them anything, if they're stupid, they will lose a lot of money. So they have to be very talented in order to be able to compete with the guys in Chicago. I started it. I couldn't find, there were no experienced traders, so I used to recruit from top universities. I still do, and teach them trading, train them, coach them, everything. I did until I started myself, and then I had some of them became managers and so on. And today we have in India we have about 600 traders. And by the way, the offices in India, they were done with help of Life Finance, the whole thing, to open offices there because it was quite expensive. But definitely, because of me, it started, and now in India they got a whole bunch of different groups came in their own, and in China the whole thing developed and everything. In China I started in 2007, but in India in 2004 nobody was there, and nobody knew about trading futures. Instead of staying in the financial centers like London, Chicago, New York, and fight for the same talent, because everyone is, let's say, in Chicago, it's not the talent is the competition for talent is not just by other proprietary groups. It's the banks and it's insurance companies and it's different other businesses that are fighting for the best people. So I figured I'll go to a place that it's less competition, and I'll go to the emerging markets. But then, if you go to the emerging market, you don't have like I said, you don't have the experienced people, nothing. You have talent, but it's very raw talent. And I had to do it. In China, I did exactly the same thing. In some point, I had 3 offices in Shanghai, Beijing, and Wuhan, where the whole thing started with COVID. I had 3 offices there, and I recruited from university and did the same thing, trained them, and have them trade. And I had the offices in Hungary and Romania and Kenya, and quite a lot of places. I feel like I owe this industry quite a lot. So to me, to see the industry growing and successful, it gives me a lot of pleasure. I'm saying it because it changed my life, and I think it's a very unique opportunity that it's really nice to keep and give other people that come and they have the abilities, but they don't have the connection or relationship or education or anything like this and here they can really grow and do terrific and become good people. But I think the opportunity is very unique, and to try to keep this opportunity going, it's very, very important to me. And I'm not just talking, I really believe in it. Like I said, this opportunity definitely changed my life. And not just my life, it's also my generations after me.